Hey friends, welcome to the Stationery Cafe Happy Hour. This is April from Penguins Creative, and we have Kelly Love Letters, here with me today. We're going to talk about all things stationery and fun things in the community. Join us this evening with a drink. We'll talk about something new, and this week, fun recaps from the adventures we've been on since our 1 month hiatus. Hey Kelly, how's it going?
Hey April, it's good. I'm very happy to be here again. um yeah, I'm just sitting here. I made a cup of black tea. It's that kind that had sprinkles in it.
A special one. That's the one you had
Yes.
when we last did the episode, which was like
Is it really?
1 month ago.
Oh, that's cute.
I
Nice. What
remember the sprinkles.
they're really good.
Well, I also had tea, but it's like also the special kind. So I found, I think in like one of those Asian grocery, the Japanese like muscat grape. The
Ooh,
green
yes.
grapes with the really like strong and sweet smell. And so you basically make it hot and then you like pour over ice. So it becomes like a cool drink. My
Oh.
ice had all melted already, but it's still very delicious.
Yeah, it looks I know exactly what flavor that is.
It's very
Nice.
grapey and like sweet. Well, slightly sweet, but still very good. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I miss doing happy hour. I think not just
I
our
know.
listeners. And it's like
it's really yeah.
every week new stuff came out and I'm like we need to talk about this. Oh wait, we're having a break.
I know there was a lot that came out and
Let's recap and let some listeners know what's going on during this whole
yeah,
month
just
that we're away.
catching
So
up on what we've been up to.
catching up with April and Kelly.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's been a
this.
minute.
So we've been on a break for 4 weeks, and the first week, April was just fervently preparing for the event of the year, a San Francisco Pen Show, and that happened on the last week of August. Which
Hmm.
actually Kelly and I both attended together. We decided to make it a little bit of a girls' trip beforehand by going to San
Yes.
Francisco 2 days before the pen show actually happened on the Friday, and then we kind of booked a place together, and then we got to meet a lot of friends in town, and then during the 3 days of the pen show we actually roomed together the whole time. And it
Yeah,
was
it
it
was
was
really fun.
it was such a girl stationary trip, even though half of it for me is work, and for you a little bit of work because you did have
Yeah,
to do some stuff for ablation. But still, it was like
I
I
did.
felt
I
like it was a well needed field trip for the two of us.
totally.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was so much fun doing all that together and like I feel like we're so good at doing that stuff together.
And then like at night when we returned to the hotel room, like on the bed, we just like spread out our halls. Every night it just takes over more and more space. And
And then
so
I'd be asking April, like, what's the deal with the plotter? Like, tell me what to do.
I know it was so much fun. And then right after the pen show, continuing on that recap, Kelly went back to work, and April went on another vacation, like a
Yeah.
true vacation. So I was in New York City from September 1st all the way till September 7th after Labor's Day. I caught the tail end of Hurricane Ida. That was scary. And then,
Right.
but
We
then
were all
after
worried
that,
about you.
everyone was so worried about me, and I'm just so glad we arrived like the morning of instead of the evening, because we would have been one of those people stuck in the subway with the flooding and the waterfall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just had like another enjoyable 6 days meeting up with friends in New York, and I shopped excessively at Nico Neko and Yoseka Stationery because I actually didn't end up buying too much during the San Francisco Pen Show because I was working the whole time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like I was trying to enable April more at the pen show, and she was enabling me because I bought two plotters, along with a bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, oh, I basically spent the same you did probably, but I did it all in one place.
I know. I tried to get away from my booth. I was well, I work for Design Flow, so I was helping with Traverse Company and Plotter, and I couldn't get away. Like I keep wanting to go into the main ballroom, like for the whole 3 days, I was probably in the ballroom for a combined total of 1 hour. That's it. Like
Yep.
to be in there. And so I wasn't able to like splurge and spend as much as everyone else, no matter how much I want to, which is good because I saved all that. Like I bottled up all that angst and then like unleashed it in New York City. Like I went into New York, Nico Neko Zakaya, which is the
Oh, I'm
stationery
so
stores in New York.
jealous.
I walked in, and then the next thing I knew, I walked out with like a long ass receipt. Like
You
I didn't even know
you
what
walked
happened in
in.
there.
You walked in and you immediately blacked out. Just
And then like I came to, and I'm already back in the hotel with like a whole tote full of stuff. And the same thing happened at Yoseka Stationery, and we'll get into that in a little
totally.
bit. And so I came back,
That is
and then
valid.
it was like exhausting. Like vacation sometimes can be really tiring because you're just kind of like you try to make the best of every moment. And so I walked
Hmm.
way too much. Like I should have rested more for my vacation, but we ended up doing a lot of like family obligation stuff, meeting with the relatives and all that stuff. And so it was actually very nice to be back. But I needed the
Yeah.
extra few days of break. But Kelly and I, we actually caught up on, was it Friday night or was it Saturday night?
Yep. I think it was Friday. Yeah.
We got together on Zoom, like, oh no, we have so much we need to catch up on for our Patreon stuff. But it ended up being a 2 hour of us just journaling together and
Yeah.
and unpacking our hauls. It was really fun.
Yeah, because we were like, oh no, there's all these due dates, but oh, it's actually okay. Okay, well let's just hang out and like go through all of our crap.
I think it was even 3 hours because I was showing you my New York stuff and you were unboxing and
Yes.
organizing your San Francisco pen show stuff. So that's a lot. And I think today's episode is really just kind of us going back and revisiting those memories, talking about things we like there. And then we'll wrap up with like new things in the
Yes.
market right now. So actually, Kelly, why don't you start with your favorite story from San Francisco
Sure.
Pen Show?
So when you said favorite story, I'm like, well, the whole thing is my favorite story, but
Like the
basically,
moment, all that stuff.
yeah, basically being able to like walk around, talk, and hang out with people that we'd only met online before is like the highlight of the trip. And there are a few people that we met and that I met that I like. There were a couple people in the ink room, which is one of my favorite things there as well. Um,
I know.
it wasn't called the ink room, but it's like you go to April's, you walk into the thing, the pen show. Sorry, there's this like kind of pre-room with Franklin Christoph and some random other people, Nib Meister people, and then you go into like another pre-ballroom
They
room,
call it the
and that's
foyer.
the foyer. Is it
Foyer.
foyer or foyer? I don't know.
I don't
So
know.
they, so then April is like right there. She had a primo location for Plotter, and then from there you can go to the main ballroom. But like from there, right after April's booth, you take a right, and then there's this like kind of relax room where there's all these tables with all these pre-inked like cheapy demonstrator fountain pens.
They're like
Um,
a square stand, right? And then on it would be
yeah,
like 36 inked up pens, all like
I think
stuck
there were
in
like
there.
50.
50.
Yeah, each
I,
table had like 50 pens.
and then you
So, and
just
then there's
grab
like a
them
list.
and you can just write on your own thing, right? Like
Yeah.
test out all the inks. It
And
was so
every single
cool.
table had a different like ink
Brand
get not gathering group.
group.
And so and they're all numbered, all the pens are numbered, and like there's a list on the table with like here's the Mont Blanc ink table, here's Diamine, here's Noodlers, here's like Colorverse. So each time I went in there, you know, when you're at one of those like people keep calling it Pen Con. when when you're at a convention or a show like that, there's moments where you're like, whoa, I need to take a breather. And that's when you go to the ink room and you're like, oh, shoot, I have to write every single one of these. And I met some cool people in there. I met, it's Scribbles and Fluff, I believe.
Hmm.
Laura, she was super nice. We met her daughter, Emma.
Hmm.
You know, I finally met Florence. I met Joy. Miranda, Chelsea from Those with Words.
So many people that I interviewed for the Stationery Cafe, and
Yeah.
like seeing them in person was just so exciting because literally we have not
Yeah.
met any of them since we started recording because it was like pandemic time, right? And so it was so unreal to be like, oh my god, Stationery Cafe in real life. Am I dreaming
Yes.
right now?
Oh, and of course, Toasty. I didn't say Toasty.
Toasty Treat,
And
Ariel.
Gaiden was there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And
Gaiden,
Leo from Stylus and Pen
Stylus
too.
and Pen. Yes. There's a bunch of people in the Stationery Cafe community that came to the pen show. And I think strategically, it's just a great location because a lot of people are West Coast based. Some people did fly
Yes.
into San Francisco for this, but um, it's convenient for them. And so we have a community in Discord as well as on Twitch, which we've mentioned a lot of times, where these people that have been on our show stream and then they talk about stationery. We interact on a daily basis. We're like close friends throughout this entire pandemic period. And now,
Yeah.
like, literally seeing them in person for the first time in forever. And for me, someone special is Joy from Ohio Joy because I actually
Yes.
know her since 2014 before I even flew here to the USA. And I knew her back then through Hobonichi. We've only interacted
Yes.
online on Instagram. And we never really thought about like trying to meet or anything in previous events. Like, there's planner cons, there's other events. But this is the first time where it's like, let's all try to get together.
Yeah.
And it was like a giant meetup. So
I
I
was
still,
definitely fangirling a lot.
a lot of people were like screaming at each other like, seeing you for the first time. And then there was a lot of jumping up and down because we can't really hug or like shake or anything. It was just a lot of
Yeah.
waving and like jumping up and down.
And I also wanna just end my little part by saying Shake Shack is better than In and Out. Just saying. Hot take.
I actually still have not had like a true In and Out experience. Well, I don't know whether it's
What?
like true or not. I The first time I had In and Out is in Las Vegas, so not really in
Hmm.
California, which it's kind of like, it's the fast food place to go if you're in California, right? And so this
Right.
time I honestly thought I would get a chance, but our tummies, Kelly and I, was like, was it because we were traveling for the first time in a long while? Our stomach
I
was kind of sensitive and
Yeah,
we couldn't stomach it in the first
we
few
couldn't hang.
days.
I just wanna throw this out there to all the people that don't know. If you're ever at a mall, even if it's a nice mall, don't get the poke. Get the poke somewhere else. Don't get it at the mall because you will be sorry and spend a day in your hotel all sad and alone. And
Well, it ended up being a story, so that's okay.
it, yeah, it's fine. It's fine now. I recovered pretty quickly, but just saying it's
it
no
was a
bueno.
it was a 1 day thing. so so yeah, and that ink station you were talking about, that's like my biggest regret because I've been like
Oh
eyeing it since the beginning, and I just never had the time to sit down and test out any of the inks. And I was like, I
no.
keep going past it, like looking into the room and looking at all these cool things, and I'm just like, I didn't try out any inks at all. Yeah,
It's so
regrets.
bad.
That means I have to go back next year
Yes.
or to some other pen shows. And funnily, is this your first pen show? Like
Well,
first?
this was my first U.S. pen show.
Oh right, because you went to the Tokyo
Yeah,
International Pen
because I've been
Show,
to
Kelly.
Tokyo. No, no, this was a great experience. I loved it, and I kind of worry about like in terms of COVID, like the bigger shows, because I feel like this show was pretty. It wasn't small, but it also wasn't huge. In terms of just the amount of people there.
Hmm.
So, but I've heard that like the DC one is bigger than that, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. That kind of freaks me out a
more,
little with
more
COVID.
people.
Like, I
It,
already was sort of freaked out with COVID, but I did do a rapid test when I got home and was negative, and
the whole thing,
everybody,
like, yeah, it kind of hangs over your head a little bit, like,
yeah,
while we're there, just like the amount of people that were there. But from the recaps that I read online and my personal experience, I'm very glad that I see everyone masked. Like
Yeah,
everyone was
yeah.
putting on masks properly. I'm glad I'm in the foyer because the ceiling was really high, so I felt like there was
Yes.
like much more air around me. I don't.
Yes.
Well, actually, the ceiling was pretty high in the main ballroom too. So the
Mm-hmm.
whole time, I feel like there are some points where I wasn't worried. Like I felt like I it wasn't like scary. Like I would
Yeah.
feel in like a public space with so many people. Um, but it's still like a thing. But it's for work. I had to
Yeah.
go.
I know that's what, like,
That's
oh,
the
that's
thing.
such a hard job buying vintage pens.
But yeah, I'm just glad everyone was safe, and now that we're 2 weeks out from it, right? Like all the people I know of, no one has any, adverse aftermath of it. So
Yep.
I'm just very happy and feeling fortunate about this whole
Yes.
thing. It feels like the universe gave us this little like bits of time in our life at this scary moment of like the era to kind of
Mm-hmm.
be together, interact with each other, to give us that
Yes.
freedom to do that, even though no, well, it is kind of opening back up here in Seattle now, with the football season starting up.
I
So
know. What's the deal with that?
that's
Like,
even
oh,
scary.
jeez.
But anyway,
Just.
that's another topic
Yeah.
that we don't know much about, but I just want to comment
Yeah.
briefly. Anyway, um, so yeah, like for me, the pen show, I keep saying it's like we crashed the pen show with our journaling stuff.
Yes.
We brought a little bit of the journaling and like the planning crowd to the pen show, which used to be like, well, people there were saying it. They're like they never seen so many like young girls at the event before,
Hmm.
and like our crowd was kind of like stood out a little bit among the vintage pen like tables and all that stuff. So
That is true.
we took up, I think, a few tables at the bar, just journaling together, right? Like it was almost
Yeah.
every day. There's always this corner at the front bar area where we're just like everyone's just writing in each other's traverse notebook, writing in each other's planners, and it felt so nice.
It did. It felt like that's what we're supposed to be doing.
And this is my first big pen show. My first one was actually the Commonwealth pen show, which
Mm.
actually just happened in Boston. So that one I went with my urban sketching friend, so I didn't feel too intimidated because we were all
Mm.
hunting for fude nips for urban sketching
Nice.
purposes, and that's basically it. Like all we were looking for was the fude nips and then the flex nips for urban sketching because we want to have variations in line. So that was very like a specific goal. But then back then I didn't know any better. I didn't know about like the Sailor Pro Gears. Like I wasn't into all the Pelicans or anything. So this time I felt like I came to the San Francisco pen show a little bit more prepared. I even bought a Sean pen, like a Sean design pen,
Yep.
together through your initiation, and so
Yep.
I felt like it was very fun, and maybe the San Francisco pen show has more of an edge above everyone else in that they really like did not focus on the vintage pens, which was kind of like that at the Commonwealth one. In my experience, I felt
Oh.
like I
Okay.
didn't see too many new products that are like Pilot, Sailor, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And but I also wasn't that into inks back then. Why
Yeah.
was that way? Anyway, so this time I was really pleasantly surprised by like the kiwi inks and then lots of cool vinta
Yes.
inks, and we met Kelly from Mountain of Inks. It's just
And Fangirl and April asked for her autograph. I was like, I'm gonna do that too.
mhm. And Kelly
I
was
want
like,
that.
the Kelly from Mountain of Ink was like, "Do I just write my name?" I'm like, "Can you also write Mountain of Ink on there?" Fangirl
Yeah.
moment. It was so nice to meet you, Kelly. If you're listening.
Yes. We also met working the same booth was the Gentleman Stationer, who is a blog that
Joe.
I follow. Yeah. And
Hmm.
so I was like, oh my god, that's you. Can you sign my book too?
And
Like,
Andy
it's.
from the Erasable
Yes,
podcast.
he's such a sweetie pie. He's so nice.
Did you end up going to the pencil talk he
I
held?
did not. I think at that time that's when I went to In and Out with people.
I
So I
see.
wasn't able to make it. And like, when you're kind of at the mercy of other people that have cars and you're like, "All right, it's time. We're doing it. Let's go."
I know that's true. It was kind of like middle of nowhere. Well, it is in Redwood
Ish.
City, and like to walk out to the closest food eatery is like 15 minutes walk in what
Yeah.
Kelly thought was really hot weather. It was
It
okay.
was terrible. It was terrible weather. And people that lived there were saying, yeah, it's normally not like this. And it was forecast to be like 70s, but it really, in actuality, got up to like, what, 90 or something? And it was
Wow.
insane. It did. But anyway, so we like, oh no, maybe that was the day we got ramen for lunch. That was
Oh
what it
yeah, I
was.
remember the last day, I
Yeah.
think, or the day before was really hot. Oh, and we met
Yeah.
Florence too from Live Life Create, and
Yes.
I
I
was
know,
trying
it
to
was
like
so
make
good.
sure I shout out everyone on the
And
list.
lavender milk tea, we got her too. That was
Ja-
fun. And
Jasmine,
Mar.
Mar
And
from Papel
Jasmine,
de
yes.
Estrella, and then Amy from Peachy Green Paper. Just
Yep.
so many people. Oh my
I know,
goodness,
it was so good.
it was such a good time. And and I
um,
also like had a
yeah.
few favorite moments from Trevor's company when I was there at the booth. Like,
Yeah.
there's this little girl, 8 year old, came up and showed us her passport, and we was like,
Stop.
ah.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then this guy who came in with like seven of his Trevor's notebook, like he brought them all to show us, and we're just like,
That's so
that's amazing,
cute.
all seven of your books. And then this lady Janet who does urban sketching in her Trevor's notebook, and she came like asking people to come to Trevor's company to like
No.
show off. I'm like, oh my goodness. Turns out she like does workshops with Trevor, like teach people how to use Trevor's notebook. And I looked through her book,
Ooh.
and it's amazing. And hopefully, we'll see her featured
Nice.
on the website sometimes. I
Oh,
don't know.
that's
We'll see.
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
why is it that I feel like people are so interested in like doing workshops on Traveler's Notebook, and that's not something I ever would have considered, but it's people are so into it.
Maybe
And I
next
love
year we
that.
can bring a workshop to the pen show regarding the Traverse Notebook. So we'll
Yeah.
see. Um, and so going on to the next section, what's your favorite item you purchased from the San Francisco
Oh,
Pen Show?
well, I got it from this really nice girl named April Wu. um, so this is it's the same as April's actually. It's the Bible size plotter. The only thing I'm sad about is the fact that y'all didn't have the Licio leather in stock, which is the one that has the rose gold hardware, because of course. But maybe I'll get one of those someday.
I think what you want was sold out, maybe, or
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I thought I was one of the first people, but
Wait,
it's
no,
still
you're holding the leash shield, aren't you?
no,
Is it?
this is
Oh, right.
Pueblo.
Yeah, yeah, you got the Pueblo beige with the little rough texture
Yes.
ones.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I thought I wouldn't like the texture, but it's already like patinaed from me using it for a couple weeks, and I don't know, I feel like it gets really nice and smooth,
Gonna get
and I
more
put a new one of
glossy,
these long, what are these called again? The
long
long
memo
memo.
notes. Hmm.
Because it's just the right size to fit in. And
Nice.
it's my baby.
And that's not the only thing you bought from Plotter.
It's not. I bought a lot of stuff from Plotter. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, I got this as well.
She got the mini six, the
The Mini
pocket
6.
size, plotter
These
in
smell so good, by the way.
Pueblo navy, which was like one of the first colors that sold out at the booth.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not usually this girl, but like literally, okay, I'm standing there with Toasty, Miranda, and Chelsea. They were all there at the same time I was, and they're all getting stuff, and then I'm like, well, everybody has a mini 6, and I was only gonna get the Bible size, but what the hell, I'm here. Let's just make it happen. So,
oh my
womp womp,
gosh.
however many dollars later.
You guys swarmed us at like the most like craziest moment because so here's the story. Only two of us from the team was there at the time of the show opening. Two other people are actually still on the plane and like trying to get to us. And so even though the show
Yep.
began at like 8, um half of our team wasn't here until like 11. And so it was
Yep.
just me and my colleague Tomomi, who spent the first few days with us traveling around San
Tomomi,
Francisco.
she's so sweet.
And we were like, okay, Tolmer, you hold the Traverse Company table, I'll hold the plotter, and we'll try to like, kind of try to like push people away from the booth for a bit because we're not ready. And then, but
Yeah.
everyone would just like wolf chomping at the bits, like at the gate, and we're just like
So
sheep.
true.
Like I was trying to set up plotter, and then everyone keeps coming over, and I was like, can you come back in like an hour? But then, like as soon as our, our colleague Ethan set up shop, he was still in his like pajamas, like kind of like not pajamas but lounge wear for the plane. He
Yeah.
didn't even get to change all of his clothes, and he just got put straight to work. And then
Oh
like
man, that's just so brutal.
so he has, what do you call
The beanie?
the beanie on, like
Yeah.
the mask on. He was planning to shave, and he didn't even have time. It was hilarious, but it was
Uh,
also very fun though to kind of be able to talk to people finally about plotter, and then showing them what it is. And I was like
yeah.
opening all my plotter. I have a lot, and then like kind of showing people what I did. And I was swatching inks the night before I flew to San Francisco in my plotter, and I was just
Nice.
marveling like, oh, the sheen of the lammy lilac is so pretty.
Oh my
The
god, I'm so
sheen of
jealous you have
the,
that ink.
what is the other? No, I had only a sample of the ink, but it's really pretty. What's the other one that has really? Oh, Yamabudo from Iroshizuku
Mm,
also has an insane sheen. So it was just like, oh, these. I'm really getting close to the pen show.
yes. And the DP paper, which is design felt, is very, very good. That's what the plotter uses for the most part, except for that one paper that's MD paper. um, and by the way, what April described about the wolves trying to like get at the sheep, that's how I feel every single morning at Oblation before we open.
Everyone's just at
I know
the clear window poking in, like,
anyone that's worked retail, we're shouting out to you right now because we know you know. If you know, you know.
IYK, YK. Oh my goodness. And so, what did you buy for Oblation? Did you have to like? I only know you were buying vintage pens for Oblation, like
Yes,
kind of
I
scouting
ended
out
up buying.
things.
I think I came away with 10 vintage pens, um, and they're all pretty good. I bought them from two different dudes. One of them I actually knew from Portland, and one of them was a new to me guy. Um, and my favorite acquisition for the store is the Pilot Mew, which I don't have with me because it's at work. And Lexi hasn't taken photos yet, I think, because we're still like figuring out pricing. But it's basically the pen that's like one of these like pocket pens. This is actually a vintage Pilot too.
The
But
ones that slides on, right, like
yeah, that
very smoothly, and
yeah, and the section on these pens on the Pilot Mew is just one long piece of metal, so even the nib and the section are just one part. And it's very sexy and very hard to get your hands on. They stopped making them. Pilot stopped making the Mew in like the 80s because it was a 1970s pen. I could totally be talking out of my butt right now, but I'm learning more about it. But all I know is that they're very hard to get a hold of, and I was excited.
nice. I know Kelly was showing it to me and like at night in the hotel room, and she had like just like a handful of them. I'm like, you have a lot of expensive pens in your possession right now.
Yes,
And how
it was
fun
super fun.
to shop with someone else's card.
I know I felt so fancy.
Kelly was like really just working the whole thing, the all 3 days. She was like going from booth to booth, schmoozing of like the old vintage pen sellers, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it was super. It was. Yeah. I mean, I feel like with those kind of guys, you get a lot of personality, and
The
and
grumpy
it was such a
ones.
pleasure to meet everybody. And like nobody was, weird. Like everybody was just cool to talk to, and I just really appreciated that and getting to know people. And I also got to talk with people that my manager knows because she like emails them for buying, like the Pilot
Oh,
guys, the
the
luxury brands
sailor
guys.
and the
Yeah, the
sailor
sailor
people.
people.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It was so
so
much fun.
Yeah, putting faces to names.
I know. I wish I'm more knowledgeable about the pen crowd to like talk more about the experience, but the fact that I couldn't even wander away from my booth kind of
I know.
deprived me of that like face to face. I only made it to like the Sailor North America booth a little bit to talk with Artisanal Ink, Rachel, who we both
Hmm.
met through the virtual ink show, the virtual ink
Yes.
show that Sailor put on. So that was fun, and I got to look at the Mito booth a little bit, like, and all that stuff. So yeah, well, my haul from the San Francisco Pen Show, actually,
Yes.
my favorite haul is enabled by you because Kelly was just walking around with her rickshaw crossbody. It's called a musette bag. It's
Hmm.
basically this like kind of rectangular tote with like an open flaps. There's no closure or anything, and a long like strap that you can put like across your body. And so
Hmm.
I was looking at what a musette, I think musette. I might be wrong. It's French, but anyway, it's actually for cyclists. You know, when they ride
Oh.
long distance, they wear a crossbody and they can access
Oh.
water or sustenance if needed. And I just thought it was funny because people at the pen show, like Kelly is wearing it and it's all her like pen stuff, like that's her
Yeah.
sustenance. She can like grab it with one hand. So that was really cute. And the one she got has like this pattern where it's like a ink bottle with like a little skull and like a heart, and
Hmm.
then this like kind of like fountain pen stabbing through it with like a rose at the
Hmm.
end. I just thought that was like so Portland-y a little bit with the Rose
It is.
City, and
Yeah.
it's like black, so it looks like a cool logo. I later realized this was actually the design for the pen show back in 2018, so it's kind of
Yes. And
cool.
people, like the rickshaw people, were like, "Oh, there's the one from this year too." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but this one's like better. I like this design."
It looks really nice. So I really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to actually, yeah, bringing it with me to like urban sketching to where I can like really like just
Yeah.
put my big sketchbooks in it,
And
you know,
snacks.
have it crossbody and snacks and water and sustenance. So I can just like paint like on the go. So there's that. And the second thing that was one of my favorite was the Sean design pen. So people
Yes.
keep like showing me their Sean pen. Ian Sean was there. I didn't get to talk to him much, but the night before, I think Toasty Treat was showing her Sean pen, which has like that kind of like ribbed texture, like with
Mm-hmm.
the cool one, and you got one as well. And so on my last day, I was like, Ethan, you know, hold the fort. I'm gonna go over there for 10 minutes, and then so I went there, and there were so many people there, but they have a section where you can test out the nib size. So I grabbed an
Mm-hmm.
M, and I wrote with it, and I'm like, I'm in love with this nib, so I'm
That's
okay
the
with
one
the
I got
nib.
too.
It's so good. And then all I have to
Yeah.
do is pick a body, right? And then there were so many choices. So what
Yeah.
the Sean pen is, it's actually a very small tube-like pen. And the mechanism is that you can basically unscrew the cap, and then there's already like these what do you call these, threading at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
pen, so you can screw back on the cap at the end of the pen, and it holds the entire pen, like make it like a regular length. And it holds a number six, size six nib, which is one of the like the bigger nibs. So it's just cool that you can fit like a regular nib into such a small form factor. The only downside is that it takes like the small cartridges, so we might have to like refill it ourselves.
Yeah.
And
So there's no converter available, but
yeah.
you know, that's fine because we have syringes.
So yeah, and basically you can like unscrew the top section to reveal where you put in the cartridge and all that
Hmm.
stuff. And of course I chose a green pen. I didn't even know what the name of this color is. It's like this like mix of like copper and green and like black, and later I look on their website, it's called malachite, I think.
Oh,
uh,
malachite, I think.
malachite,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that. I don't know how to pronounce rock
I
names, but
I would call it like Sprite or 7 Up myself.
it does look like a
I
Sprite
like it
color.
because it's kind of like yellowy, greeny, limey,
Yes.
lemony.
And what color is yours?
Mine, I believe, was called some kind of like
Oh,
stardust or Milky Way thing.
oh wow. It's
It and I stood there forever. I was actually with Laura from Scribbles and Fluff,
Mm-hmm.
And I was staring at these pens for, I don't know, what seemed like forever because I couldn't make up my mind.
Yeah.
And this one has a nice little like ridgy section, which is
Okay.
kind of fun. Um, and I also want to say, for people that know the Kaweco Lilliput, it's a
Mm-hmm.
very similar design, but
Mm.
Lilliputs are really skinny, and this one is more like a normal person size.
I see.
So it's not like copying the Lilliput or anything. I just wanted to say for the ease of like picturing it in your head
But
that it's
it's such
like
a
that.
it's probably one of my smallest fountain pens to date. It's tiny and
Yeah.
it's so cute. And so I
But
have
then it
it.
becomes a normal size.
It does once you like, put it like screw it back on. And so I'm now housing it in my new rickshaw koozie. I bought another one at the spot.
Of
And
course.
and so and then I bought a few bottles of inks. But they're not like that special enough to talk about. Like I wish I had laid my hands on one of the kiwi inks, the
Quetzalcoatl or whatever. Yeah, that was really
the
cool.
amazing ink that has like 5 colors in one, and like they drew that mythical creature as a
Yes, that was
sample.
such a cool. Yeah.
It looks so badass. So that was
Yeah.
really nice.
I came away with 8 bottles of ink, actually 9 if you include the special show ink that I didn't pay for, but someone just gave to me.
Of course, you have to include it. But yeah.
So this is me like basically what happened was between Van Ness and Lemur Ink, I was like going back and forth because Mar or some person would show me, oh, look at this ink swatch. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to that booth again. And I'm just
I remember
like,
I
hey, I'm
left.
back again.
I remember I left you when you were picking out the Robert Oster color.
Yes.
So which one did you end up getting? I
So I
forgot.
got 2 Robert Osters. One of them is Go Go, which is like I call it a blurple.
A
Um,
blurple. I see.
because it's like bluish, but it's also like purplish.
I see.
And then Robert Oster No Fixed Address is the shimmery one. And then I had
Mm.
like tagged Mar in a story. I'm like, you made me buy this, and she's like, that wasn't me. I'm like, oh no, who was it? You mystery person.
It's probably her. Don't let her get away with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
that's so cool. Yeah.
Robert Oster, Robert Oster was not at the pen show as themselves. There was just various vendors carrying Robert Oster. But I want to talk to Robert Oster so that we can carry their ink at Oblation because it's amazing and I want it all.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I would like
I know.
if you guys carry it, then I could just buy it in
Yes.
person. So moving on, the next one is also like what is something we recently like
Oh my
bought, and
god.
it could be brief, it could be from the pen show, it could be from my trip. Well, because I wanted to talk about it because it's from my New York trip. But what did
Yeah.
you buy? Did you end up
Well,
buying that you almost
okay.
bought but ended up buying?
So, okay. So, first day of San Francisco trip, I immediately get in. I don't even drop my luggage off at the hotel. I just take all my crap and go to San Francisco because I got there later than April.
Mhm.
And I needed to make up for lost time. So, we immediately go into Mido, or I guess first we went to Kinokuniya, then we went to Mido.
And we shrieked inside Kinokuniya. I remember
Yeah. Oh,
Tomomi,
yeah.
who's
What
from
did I shriek?
Japan.
Oh, yeah. There was so much stuff. And yeah, Tomomi's like, oh, God, what?
She's like from Japan,
I
and
don't know these
she's just
people.
she's just watching 3 people freak out over like Japanese stationery, and she's like, "I'm so happy you like Japanese stuff," and I'm like, "Really?" Because we're kind of crazy.
Yeah, like okay, it's nuts. So when I walked into Mido, first of all, first time there, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I was very excited. Um, and one of the first things that I noticed in the fountain pen area was that they had a Sailor Pro Gear Purple Cosmos.
Ooh.
Um, and it's so pretty. You probably can't see it that well, but it's like sparkly and like a dark blue indigo situation.
A Procure Slim, right?
Yes. Did I
Mm-hmm.
not say that? Yeah,
You
it's a
said.
slim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, I saw this in the case and I know, oh, they don't even make that pen anymore. It was it was around when I like first started working at Oblation, and at the time I was one of those, oh, it's too expensive, and now I look back, I'm like, damn it, Kelly, you should have just bought it. um so I saw it there that I say, what kind of nibs do you have, extra fine, or zoom? And I'm like, cool, I'm not getting a zoom. And then I go about my life because I'm like, it's day one, I don't want to drop all my money right here. So, I get home like a week later and I'm like, hey, Mido, on the phone, can I order this pen? So I did get the fine, and it actually writes very smooth and nice for a fine. And I love it. I put Go-Go in here. It's perfect match.
Nice. The blurple with the
Blurple.
purple
And
Cosmos
hey, these
book.
kind of go together, don't they? My Sean design and my Sailor.
They all have that like,
Nice.
well, the Sean has that purple color streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they do look great together.
So that's my like favorite thing lately, because I can't say no to sailors, I guess.
And all the new stuff that came out, right? Like that orange one. Have you
Yeah,
seen that? Oh man, so pretty. And
it's too much.
and so for me, like I said, I went ham at Yoseka Stationery and Nikoneko Zakaya, and I just want to like kind of like specifically pick out a few things that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So the one first thing is of course the Hobonichi guidebook, because I went to Yoseka and they already had the guidebooks there. They don't have the other stuff yet, but I've been like wanting it because
What
it
do you mean the
has
other stuff?
like the real Hobonichi stuff, like the shipments.
Really?
Yeah, they only had the guidebook. All the other Hobonichi stuff weren't there yet when I was there. I was there on
Oh,
the 4th, and I think their shipment came like a week later, just like you guys, got it
oh
a few
man.
days
Yeah,
late.
ours was only delayed a day, but I guess probably because of all the storm
The
crap. That's
hurricane
probably why.
thing. And so if
you
you
know,
buy the Hobonichi guidebook this year, they include these stickers. These he
stickers.
make
I'm
he
so jealous. They're
these
so
like,
cute.
yeah, like kind of like monthly sticker or something with like some stationery theme thing. And then I
So
already
good.
wanted it, but I didn't want to order it from the website because I know it's going to add to the weight, which increases your
Oh god.
shipping. So I was trying to not add heavy stuff to it. I was going to get it off Amazon Japan actually, but then since I was there, I was like, I'm just going to get it, I'm just going to grab it.
Yeah,
So that
that
was
makes sense.
fun. And also, guys, look forward to an episode on Yoseka Stationery where I was there and I filmed "What's in Your Pencil Case" episode with them.
Oh, that's fun.
So that was fun. And then so I was at Yoseka and Kelly. They let you try out every single fountain pen. It's amazing, and it's not the kind like at Oblation you have to ask you and like you take it out of the desk and they watch you do it. No,
Mm-hmm.
at Yoseka it's just laid out on the desk and they have this super long counter
I don't
island
trust
thing.
people enough for that, but that's okay. Yeah.
I know. I was so worried for them the whole time because they have a huge long counter across the middle of the Yoseka store, and on 2 rows of it, everyone was there testing out every single pen they have. They
Wow.
let you test out all the markers, all the gel pens, all the fountain pens, and of course the more expensive one, like the very like the Nakayas and stuff. You do have to go to like the counter
Oh,
where
okay. That
someone's
makes
manning
sense.
it, but like the Twisby Diamond, the Pilot Custom
Nice.
A23, they were just on display, and
That's
you could
high end. What are you talking about?
and I know, and you can just try them. And so many people were just trying
Whoa.
it, and it's scary, Kelly, because once you wrote with it,
Oh,
that's when it's like you kind of need it. And so I almost bought a Pilot A23.
you
Oh,
should have.
like I was literally testing the amber color one, like just holding in my hand, and then this lady came in, and she was across from me, and the moment I put it back, she like took it. She knew exactly what she needed. She took it from the thing and then like asked Ashley, like, "Can I have this?" And like then like the M knit, like
Wow.
she knew exactly what she wanted, and like the thing is the pens were all there, and then you can like they have like
Hmm.
tester papers just lined up around the counter
That's
throughout
so
the
cool.
whole thing. And then they have like ink bottles where you can like dip into the ink bottles and test it out yourself. It was really cool. And so I bought a pen. I bought the Twisby Diamond L in mini with the silver color. It's one of those things. If you never wrote with like a broad nib or like a fun nib, you never really know what exactly it feels like or look like.
Is it this pen, April?
So I got
We have
it.
similar inks in too.
I know. I put one of my new New York inks in there from Diamond. So this one's like taxi cab, so a yellow
Oh,
color.
nice.
So anyway, I bought it because I was like, this broad nib is so fun. And how do I not
Yes.
know about twist speed broad nibs? It
I
writes
don't know.
so big and like makes such a statement with the black ink they had with the tester. And so
Mm,
I bought it instead of the 823. I thought I would, wait and see if they come out with fun colors, if they ever will. So there's
I
that.
know.
I bought a lot of other
I
stuff at Yoseka though, so that's these are just one of the bigger things. I bought a lot of
yeah, I
stickers.
swear when the next time I go to Japan, I want to buy the totally clear custom 823 because you can only get that in Japan, and that's literally the only reason why I want it. And I keep telling myself I can just order it through Oblation if I get the amber or the smoke, but of course my brain is like, you need the Japan only one.
That's what CY told me about
I
like the
know.
cool colors. I was like paging
Yeah.
him, like paging CY. Is this the pen you said I should buy? But he was asleep at the time, so my
No,
my
it's
wallet
it's
was
such a good pen. If
my
like
wallet was safe.
if I was to tell if someone asked me what's like though if you had to buy one fountain pen, it should be a custom 823, hands down. I don't even own one, but I feel that way about it.
That's what CY said. Like for a
Yeah.
beginner, like you just got to go straight into that. I had some trouble figuring out how the thing worked though, like how it like takes ink out. So Ashley, who works there, was like kind enough to like show it to
Yeah.
me. So I've like I had a better idea now. Like I was intimidated by it just from pictures, but
Yeah.
holding it in person, trying it out, and you just get enabled. Um, so the
Penabled, actually.
pen enabled. And so the other thing at Nikoneko Zakaya that I really enjoyed was they did this really cool letterpress card in
Oh,
collaboration with
oh,
Cupodo.
that's so cute.
You know Cupodo? It's like that Japanese
Yes.
kind of stationery, and they do
Yes.
letterpress cards.
I
And
want to
so
collab with Cupoto.
Nikoneko Zakaya did a collab with Cupodo to like
That's so
custom
cool.
design the actual shop front of Nikoneko Zakaya, and then inside there's this dog that's like the shopkeeper replenishing stuff,
Uh,
and the customer outside the shop front is a cat with a tote bag. And
that's too
so
much.
this illustration is so adorable. I bought actually their tote bag that features this illustration, this
Nice. Oh
print.
my god.
So I have both the postcard and the tote bag. It's so cute. And then I
I would
bought a
have done
bunch
that
of
too.
other
That's
stuff.
incredible.
May you always be the one who sees the light in the little things is the quote on the
Nice.
card. It's
That's so
really cute.
wholesome.
I like snagged the last two cards from the shop.
Nice.
It's so tiny compared to Yoseka. I actually went to Nikoneko Nakaya first and then went to Yoseka
Mm,
like 2 days later. It's so tiny, but it was like packed with stuff. Like, they try to put as
nice.
much stuff as possible. And then while I was there, this like guy came in like, do you guys sell like white paint markers? I'm like, you're kind of in the wrong shop for that. Like he was trying to test out one of the Uniball one broad white because he wants to write on wood with that. And then the people there were like,
That's not gonna work out.
we don't have that kind of pen you're looking for.
You need to go to Blick.
I know he was like, I searched on Google, you guys are the closest stationery shop. I'm like, not your kind of stationery, sir. So
Yeah,
I was just like eavesdropping on the conversation. Poor guy.
I do that all the time.
He's totally in the wrong shop to buy what he needed. So anyway, it was funny. So there's kind of like our recent shopping spree.
So good.
One important topic I feel like we need to cover in this episode is the Hobonichi sale recap.
Oh
Can't wait.
yeah.
I missed so much. I like
Missed
regret
everything.
everything. But
So yeah, it's like I do want to say if any customer of Oblation is listening that I I feel badly that we didn't exactly know how to handle pre-orders because we'd never done anything like that before, and everything worked out fine,
mhm.
but I feel like it was kind of confusing for everybody involved, and I'm glad that it's all good and everything worked out, but I'm like, wow. Like when the Hobonichis arrived, me and my coworkers are like, like trying to make sure it, but it's, yeah, it all went fine, but I feel like it was just confusing at first. But something I didn't expect was the Yuki Fujisawa Dreamscape weeks.
Mhm.
That was like a hot ticket item, and it sold out in like every single place that carries them, like almost immediately. And I'm like, really? The shiny lace situation? Um,
Even the
and
A6 too, or just the weeks?
See, they have an A6, but the A6 as well as the Safari cover, A6 and A5, were three back ordered items for Oblation, so we didn't actually
Mm.
get those in yet.
Oh my goodness. But the lace
I
is
know.
just snatched up
Yeah. And
immediately.
also Animal Crossing was like boom. And
Hot.
I expected me to be the only person that cared,
No, what
but
are you
like
talking about? Animal Crossing, like it's of course gonna be hot. Like it
well, and
sold
it's really
out
cool like
on the website too. Hmm.
um how many people found Oblation through Hobonichi. Like we had people ordering from, from Texas, from New York, from all these places that I had no idea people would find us. And it was just very cool to see, and I'm really excited for our restock because people keep asking me like, hey Kelly, you guys getting those Inuyasha covers? And I was like, I wasn't planning to for the store, but I guess we will because everybody wants them.
Yeah, because you wouldn't expect like last year, didn't you guys do Doraemon and not that many people were into it? Like,
Yeah,
but
it
Inuyasha
was just
might be a different
yeah.
thing. But
Well, it's Inuyasha.
for those who don't know what we're talking about, you have to up or go and review your anime or manga game there, Inuyasha. It's actually the same
Oh
artist
man.
that drew Rama and a Half last
Mm-hmm.
year. But last year that one was it like a spring or no? It was like also an
Nope.
October
It was
release.
also October,
I
and they
see.
only did a weeks and an A6. But
Hmm.
for Inuyasha, they're doing the same cover for A5 and A6, and then a different cover for weeks. And the weeks cover is so gaudy and stupid, and I love it. It's like holographic and ridiculous.
I love it. It's like
So
red.
yeah,
Well,
just in your face.
I am also ordering a very gaudy anime focus weeks this year, so
Yes, you are.
we're gonna be on the same boat. This
I
was
can't
even
believe I would not expect this from April. She's actually a closet anime nerd.
I did not expect this of myself too, but when I saw it, a little piece of me says, "April, I want to take this out in public in Seattle." So what ended up happening was that they did an OEM cover. So Hobonichi outsourced and like does a lot of
Mhm,
like brand specific weeks. So like with Loft they did the Hungry Caterpillar. With Moomin each year they did a special one.
mhm.
They did
And
it with the frog
the
one
frog
each
one,
year. And so there's a lot of cute ones. And this year in Japan, Demon Slayer is hot. Like they just had their
which is
final episode
Ki
in manga, I think, and
Kimetsu Kisetsu. So, oh man, I don't know the Japanese name, but
Kimetsu no Yaiba, I think.
yes,
Yeah, so I know it. So anyway, super hot. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's so
I need to
good.
watch. I still haven't watched it. I'm
And
failing.
and so by the way, like right before the pen show, I finished Demon Slayer, like the anime up to the point where it ended, and then like all the manga. So I was like really, really
On it.
obsessed with it. And usually I'm not about these like demon stuff, like horrible. It's kind of like a horror manga thing, but
Yeah. What are you
still
doing?
in a very good way. Anyway. And so it came out with a cover featuring Demon Slayer on this like super manga like otaku website only. Like you have to pre-order there,
Is it
and then
animate?
no, it's like wait, what is it called? I forgot. Anyway, it's like very. It sells like manga and it sells manga related merch. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like that stuff. And so they had it on pre-order, and it features a week's on like across the cover Rengoku, which is a character in there who represents the fire Hashira. Oh my god, getting geeky here. He's like the fire,
I
the
love it.
fire master, if you will. He's the art, like he place with fire. And so it was just him and this like fury fire dragon thing across the whole front page with this gaudy like anime style red and like kind of fire thing. And
And
I
it's
was
like
just,
orange as hell. This
it's
cover is
super
like
orange, red, yellow, and then just like this anime character on the back, but the front is super gaudy. And in my heart, I was like, Aries spirit, yeah, like yes. And I thought I ordered it, like I pre-ordered it as a birthday gift to myself next year.
yes.
So like
Early
Kelly,
birthday, I guess.
you were there expecting I was gonna get into the forest, but I ended up going for a super like cheesy like Demon Slayer weeks. So
I'm
anyway,
so here for it though.
we have to take a photo together with your
Yes.
Inuyasha and
Oh my
my
god.
Rengoku
Yes.
Demon Slayer weeks. So Kelly, I'm slightly mad at myself for not being as into Hobonichi this year because I missed out. Like
Yeah,
I
on like literally everything.
on everything. It was literally well because I flew to New York on the eve of September 1st, which in Japan time is when everything starts. So last year I was in charge of all of our order, and this year I kind of like handed off to someone else. And I was trying to be good. So my list was very short. None of the covers really called out to me until later, of course, when you see them in real life. And then like
That is fair though, I feel like.
no, but this year, Kelly, I didn't know like what's going on. Everything sold out so fast across the board. Like not just US retailers like you guys, but on the website as well. Like so I
Yeah.
wonder if this year they have like a shortage of material, so they actually didn't like prep enough quantity for the demand. And maybe there's also that Tomoe River paper is extinct hype going on with Hobonichi. So everyone's
Yes.
on the Hobonichi train and everything was sold out so fast. Like the tambourine, like they come up with tambourines once every so often, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
never seen it go out like so fast like this year. They actually had to
Yeah.
put a lottery on the restock. And
Yeah.
then what are some other popular there's a bunch of popular ones like Animal Crossing obviously sold out in seconds. um the rose tweed and the seal tweed, that is my biggest regret.
I'm
Like
it's my biggest regret for not ordering any because
you
like
guys didn't even order
we
any.
didn't order any because
What a
like
big mistake because
I know.
all the other stores are selling it for 272, like
See,
fifty
it was
dollar profit margin, and they just like that, like just sold out. Like yeah, I did it
it's
very
just one of those things when you look at all the like bad pictures of like pixelated with confidential and everything, and you try to make these decisions. And I looked at that one and I was like, this is kind of ugly. I don't know. Let's pass on that.
and
And
then
then
when
you
you
see
see the
like the
details.
yeah, you see the actual photos. You're like, oh man, we really missed out on that one.
Oh
So
my goodness.
hopefully they'll restock, for our, I'm assuming we will be able to do an October order. People keep asking me, and Hobonichi just kind of makes the rules on that, and they just let you know. What are
that
you
one's
shaking your head? No.
that one's not restocking until April start, Kelly. Isn't that insane?
Oh,
That one is so
what?
popular.
Oh,
They are
shoot.
not even restocking it on the website. They said they're gonna wait till February, which is when they sell the April one.
Scalper alert. Geez, I bet people
That's
picked that up and they're like gonna sell it for $500.
so
Oh man.
everywhere. It was like the moment when I realized I made the biggest mistake of my life by not buying that, which is like September 4th, Kelly, September 4th, which is like one day after it went on sale. Because I saw on Tori, Techo by Tori's Instagram, she did like a close
Mhm.
up snapshot of it. And I was in that moment, I need this cover. So Hobonichi website, I checked there first, sold out. Yoseka, sold out. Jenny Blick, sold out. Like Anderson pen,
Mhm.
sold out. I went and checked everywhere, sold out. So Little Craft Place had theirs a little bit later, but like when I
Mhm.
checked, it sold out too. And so I was really counting on Jet Pens to be like the place I go to. But Jet
But they
Pens,
didn't.
I have so much gripe about it. I sign up for the Hobonichi notification, Kelly. Like when they will send you an email saying things are in stock, they just came in stock today. The email went out 3 hours later. Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
how does that even help? When I
So
went onto Jet Pens, It was already 2 hours after the thing went live, and already it's sold out. Like
I did
still,
the same exact thing,
ev-
April.
everything sold out, and then like
Yeah.
an hour later, oh, here's our new Hobonichi stuff. Yeah, with half of them gone. Like I was so mad because I was refreshing like crazy yesterday and the day before every hour of the day on JetPens. Today I
Yeah.
went out for an errand to USPS,
Oh.
and that's when they decide to stock it.
See,
Kelly,
and
I'm so
that's
mad.
kind of what I kind of feel for jet pens though. That's kind of what I mean. That's like I feel like that's what happened at Oblation is that we were trying to let people know that we got it in, but like we're already selling so much in the pre-order, and then it's like by the time we let everyone know, it's like, oh, oops. No, I
No.
did, I don't think anyone was expecting the hype this year, except for me because I love Animal Crossing. But I don't know. It's like, and I keep saying I'm pretty sure the COVID supply shortage situation, supply chain, like that's got to have something to do with this. Because why else? I mean, I don't know. In every facet of life right now, it seems like that's kind of taking a toll.
Yeah.
You know, like going to the store, going to Starbucks and having them be like, oh, we're actually out of sriracha for like a month. And you're like, no, I want it on my breakfast sandwich.
I was like, wait, sriracha and drinks? I was confused for a second there.
There's one, the Starbucks by my house, they haven't had sriracha for like 2 months.
I saw that they are out
It's just one of those things.
like hazelnut sauce or something, so I couldn't get the
Yeah.
hazelnut latte forever.
Yeah. So,
But,
you know, it's just one of those things that when there's a global
but
pandemic,
you guys did better. Japan didn't even do a pre-order. They were
I
like they were
know.
ready to just like load it onto the website for people to choose, but you should notify the people who sign up for it
Yeah. Yeah.
first. I mean,
Yeah.
they should send out the email, then let the items go live. I feel like that's fair. But
But
anyway,
see, money talks, April. Just put it up and let the
yeah, I
cows
guess
roar.
I
I
know.
don't know what,
I guess they
you
don't care
know.
who buys it, So like as long as it's sold. So anyway, I just have to try my luck during the April start.
Oh,
Maybe I'll get the Count the Light cover as well. Not like I didn't need the book inside.
that one's really cute. Okay, no, but Hobonichi, if you're listening to this prayer, please
Do they listen to us though?
can can you please release another Poe the Kind Cat cover because that's all I want for Spring Start. Okay, prayer done. Amen.
I lost my Poe weeks, remember? And I
I
was so
know
sad that
with your
year.
Galen leather weeks cover.
No, that one was safe. It was just the
Oh,
thing is gone. Oh man.
oh,
Yeah.
little Poe.
I know somewhere in Taiwan. Just maybe in a trash can, I guess. Already
No.
composed. Anyway, yeah, speaking of the supply chain, all that stuff, shipping is expensive this year. Oh my goodness. If
Yeah,
you make an
yeah, it
order
is. Oh
yourself.
man.
Um and then the pink box, it was cute, but some people get
It's really
theirs
cute.
like naked, so they got like all scrapped up and like
Yep.
taped over. So that was kind of sad and tragic.
I have
But
seen those. Actually, our box from DHL, we didn't get pink boxes because we're a retailer, but they were beat up. But
so
thankfully, nothing
yeah,
got damaged. But like, you know how the fancy covers come in those gray boxes?
right.
Like some of those got totally messed up. And I like reached out to a customer and I was like, hey, just so you know, you ordered this thing and it's totally fine, but the box is not fine. And I
I
never saw the
know.
reply, but it's like it
It's just kind
sucks.
of this year, everyone's just struggling. Everyone's trying their
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, then I'm looking forward to my little spoon, the freebie that comes with it, which some people don't care about, but
I'm so like I'm not here for the
I'm
spoon.
so excited for the spoon. We have like opposite reactions right now.
I'm
So
glad it brings people joy, but it's not my jam.
scoop, you like you scoop up what little hope and joy there is left to life, I guess.
I do like that though.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good thing.
So yeah, man, Hobonichi this year they really just like so many things going on with Michael Jackson. Like turns out they had like three things planned for that, and they had to scrap the entire
Yeah.
thing, which is sad on their part, but do your due diligence, I guess, right? Before you
Or just like
release.
do Kirby or something. Like
Yeah, that would go good with everyone
like
else. No one has qualms about Kirby.
ooh, no, you know what they should have done was like BTS or like some K-pop thing. That would have been
Probably
crazy.
next year. That would be cool. Like for the K-pop
Yeah,
journaling
throw that out
fans.
into the ether. BTS Hobonichi.
So yeah, oh, one last thing I want to like talk about
Yep.
with Hobonichi I forgot is that they did the notebook but with the pretty cover.
Yes,
Who
yes.
what
That
is
was one of
that?
the things that I was holding in for so long that I really wanted to tell everyone about.
Yuka Hiragai.
Hiragi.
Hiragi,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, with the little with the white horse, the tree, and the little girl. It's like black. It's so
It's
cool. Like
very
if you
like
if
fairy
you
tale.
if you want to hoard Tomoe River paper, this is the notebook to hoard. I mean, it's so
Mm-hmm.
pretty and cute, and so that is what I added into my Hobonichi
Yeah.
order. The
Nice.
hindsight, I should have just got it on Japan's or Oblation because it's the price would probably be the same. But anyway,
Hey, I do want to add also like uh on the first day, the first full day that we had Hobonichis in the store, because we got it at like 4:30 p.m. and I'm like, dude, we can't sell this to anybody right now. Um, but like that next day when we opened and like these Hobonichi people were coming
oh, the
in
wolves.
and it was yeah, it was really cool because they like these two customers just happened to be there at the same time and they started talking to each other and I'm like, this is so wholesome and they're just talking about Hobonichis and I just love this.
This is like my story. When I was still in Boston, I ordered Hobonichi from their website and I went to a USPS to pick it up. And then I see like a yellow box, or like, when they had like the storage of people's
Oh
boxes there.
yeah.
I was like, I wish I know who ordered that, that's in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
anyway.
it's just really cool and I've gotten to talk to quite a few people. Like this one lady came in and was totally one of us with her like I would be like, oh, so you're into Hobonichi? And she's like, oh, let me show you. And she like pulls out her weeks and like, this is where I like track my meals and water and stuff. And then this one's for like my devotional. And this is, and it's like, it's just really cool to see all the different ways that people use things.
It's so good. The people.
The people.
Hobonichi peeps. Love it. Well,
Yes.
to wrap up this episode, just quick updates on new things we saw that we absolutely have to talk about. What's yours?
Yes. Okay. So April told me about something, but I actually decided to talk about something else
There's
because
so many new things.
there's so many new things, but this is like the one that kind of embodies me as a person. And
Okay.
it is a Bungu box Twisby Eco that has been maki-ade. That's probably not how you say that. It's like maki art done on the pen, so it makes the price go up, which is
Mm.
annoying but understandable.
They illustrate, right? It's kind of like a painting technique
Yeah.
on the acrylic exterior.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cute because it's like Halloween motifs with like pumpkins and broomsticks and so,
But it's just a
so
white
it's a
Twisby
white
Eco.
Twisby Eco.
Yes.
Yep. And like with the cost of shipping to the US, this pen and shipping almost costs $200. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I want it.
Well, ship it to someone in Japan and they probably could ship it to you for cheaper than $40.
I mean, maybe. You never know these days, but I don't know. I really want it, but I also have, I just got back in the pen show. I have a few acquisitions. I'm trying not to totally blow it all,
The
but
little
I'm just
pumpkin guy and the
I'm
witch
thinking about
hat.
I
The
know.
ghost, the cat. There's a black cat on it.
Oh.
That looks like Kiki.
I'm fondly thinking about it in my heart, but I might not buy it. But I just wanted to tell everyone about it because it's amazing. And if you really love it, you can like you people listening, you can like go in on shipping with a friend, and if you order enough, maybe it's like, oh, shipping's not that bad when you split it between like 3 people.
Yeah, that's true. Because shipping, the base shipping is like $40 itself, right? For
It's
anything.
about $50. So
50.
without shipping, the pen is about 155 US dollars. I'm like, oh my
Ooh.
gosh, for a Twisby Eco that hurts, but it's Maki and it's beautiful as Halloween.
They're selling the art, Kelly.
Oh,
All right. For
I
me,
get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
for me, Kelly, Uniball has done it again. Like,
Yeah. Why do they
seriously?
keep doing this to you?
Mitsubishi Uniball 1 F is the newest edition of that
Why is it
amazing
called
pen.
F?
I don't know why it's called F, but it's Uniball 1F. And basically in Japan, they're coming out with metallic barrels for that Uniball 1 pen. So, away with the
Oh, you said metal?
metallic barrels. Yeah.
Metallic,
Like
meaning like
steel. Like,
shiny?
sorry, yes. It's like shiny and it's steel, kind of like the Zebra Sarasa Grand.
Oh, uh-oh.
Amazing. It is like
You're in
the
trouble.
the full body is like it's kind of like the Zebra Sarasa Grand, where is it steel, probably like the heavier
Yes.
material, and
Oh, I see the video now. Oh, that's nice.
and
Oh.
it's got like 6 new colors of the barrel. Well, actually 5 extra, because there's black and there's white, and then there's this mauve purple, this really bright yellow, this
That looks
beautiful
like green to me.
blue. There's really beautiful. Maybe it's kind of like the chartreusey green yellow
That's the
color.
one you're getting. Okay.
The name is like sunflower. It's so pretty. And then there's one that's blue, there's one that's green, and there's one that's red. And so the full body, they did away with the gel, well, not gel, the silicone like grip section, which gets
Mm-hmm.
yellow over time. So the whole body is very smooth now. And then the tip is like, the really good Uniball gel pen tip. So it's really nice.
Oh man.
And it probably feels heavier in your hand, which like writes easily with the gravity and stuff. And like just the 5 color barrels. And from what I know, there's only black color in it, but of course it's interchangeable with
Oh
all the
yeah.
existing Uniball 1 or even other pen barrels. But anyway,
Yeah.
this pen is going to be released Japan September 21st, and I have a feeling it's going to be a hit. The Stationery King in Japan, this guy who always wears a crown and he like reviews stationery, says it might have been the best gel pen to like yet.
Wow.
Like he was
Oh man.
comparing the shape of the pen, the nib, the way it feels, all that
Oh.
stuff. Probably even better than the Sarasa Grand. So we'll see.
Oh
I'm
man.
I'm very very excited for the green color. I might have to
Yep.
get the yellow one, the red one. That looks really cool.
They all have your name written on them.
The name is so pretty too. Like in English, they translated it to like such boring names: faded gray, faded pink, faded yellow. But
Mm.
like in Japan, like Japanese, the kanji, so beautiful. Like icicle, sunflower, like dusty bloom. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. So I'm obsessed already, and it's not even
Cool.
released yet, and I can't wait to get my hands on those.
Well,
And
that's cheaper than a Maki Twisby Eco,
it
so
definitely is going to be cheaper. Yes, it's just a gel pen.
you're in the clear.
I assume, I'm guessing it'll probably be around like $12, kind of like with this Zebra
We're
Sarasa
probably in
Grand.
the US like 20. That's usually what Sarasa Grands
Oh
are out
really? That
here.
was a 20. Okay, then maybe like around like $15 to $20 per pen.
Yeah. Which is super reasonable for a nice metal body with that good refill.
Exactly. So I'm excited. And then finally, so good news that was shared to us this morning. Oh my goodness, guys. Tinterias, which is a stationery podcast in Spanish by our friend Eric
Yes.
and his partner. And they did a really, really cool collab, guys, with Sailor North America. They have their podcast inks, Kelly.
I want that to be a thing. What would it be? Melon soda, and what would mine be?
Like pitch black Halloween with like a neon orange. But it's so cool. So their whole theme, like I I know Eric's from Mexico, maybe, or like his family is
I
from
think so.
Mexico,
Yeah.
and so their podcast is mainly in Spanish, and they talk about like the pens and fountain pens and inks and all that stuff for the Spanish speaking demographic. And so they did a collab with Sailor North America for their own podcast themed inks, and they went for like a Spanish kind of theme with spicy chipotle and homemade tortillas. So one's
Which
like a
is so
very
cool.
very cool, like kind of red that kind of has that like the chipotle color, and then tortillas that kind of nobody really does that kind of like beigey
Brown.
color, beigey,
Yeah.
yeah, yellowish beige color. So I thought that was really cool. I really wanted to try the homemade tortilla. So they're selling it on their own website, tinterias.com, and I think you have to go to Tiendo, which is store, and then
Mhm.
you can find it
Yeah.
there. So yeah, I'm very happy for them.
See, I feel like they were they were really kind of not latching onto trying to get the people like me that ordered the habanero or that have the
Oh
habanero
my
cereal,
god, yes, that's
because I was
perfect.
like, oh, I want a tortilla in my habanero.
You're basically making a taco with your stationery.
Yes. Like, man, that would be such a satisfying combination, and I'm excited to see people do that so I can live vicariously through them.
It's so good. So
Yeah.
anyway, that wraps up our episode for this week. It's a long recap. I hope you guys enjoy it. Next week we'll come back to you with our original programming, and I think it's probably time for one of our Techo Kaigis with Phyllis, especially
Yes. Oh
with
my
all of our
gosh.
stuff.
Phyllis, I miss you.
So stay tuned for that, and next week we'll talk about new things again and fun things that we're looking at, fun things we have. probably
And
no
there's a
more
lot.
probably no more fun things I want to buy for April for like the
Oh
short
god.
term.
Let's hope not anyway.
Anyway, you can find us at the Stationery Cafe on Instagram. You can support Kelly and I with our Patreon, the Stationery Cafe, and we also have our website, thestationerycafe.com. I'll see you next week, Kelly. Bye.
Bye, April.